What's up, people? It's time for the other brother. It's Sunstreaker. He was bound to happen eventually. Only took until Earthrise. It didn't even get a siege figure, and even Sideswipe doesn't get a siege figure. Or, so swing that around. Sideswipe doesn't get an Earthrise figure. So these two really don't look that much like siblings anymore. But there's a shot of Sunstreaker. There's that. Do 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 do. Deluxe. Get a close-in shot of that. There's the pictures and things. I didn't even actually mention Fast Track's thing, but this one does not have a name on it. And frankly, I'm going to take out instructions, but I don't need these instructions. So, here is Sunstreaker, and I have some thoughts about him. And they all relate to the most obvious thing you can see. The colors. And how annoying they are. Let me give you a good shot so you can actually see the difference. Now, that part I could somewhat understand. It's translucent plastic. It's hard to color match the plastic. But that part is not. It's black plastic. Maybe there's is there a piece of translucent on top of it? I can't tell, but if there isn't, that looks horrible. It doesn't even, and this is probably one of the best, like, I don't want to say best, but like one of the least worst, like, it stands out so much and it's annoying to me. But here's his Lamborghini mode, if you can ignore that. One thing also I can't ignore, it's going to be a little bit hard to see, but this is his chest plate, and it does not sit very well. This mode actually is really hard, and it does not come together very well. It's not loose. Nothing's loose. It just doesn't. There's something about it. But here he is next to his brother, so you can see how they don't look alike. They're both supposed to be Lamborghinis, but obviously, since Sideswipe doesn't have an Earthrise toy, this does not resemble an Earth Lamborghini very much. Give you a shot of it without the weapon on. Also, I'll take this off to give you a good look at the back. And I don't need instructions because this is a remold of Earthrise Wheeljack. And for comparison, I have Exhaust here, who's the exact same. There's quite a bit remolding. There's obviously the biggest thing is the feet in the windows, I could say, but there's also they've also re-engineered it a tiny bit. The arms move slightly differently, and the legs move slightly differently. So we'll see that in the transformation. But yep, his fender, no, not fender, spoiler thing. This thing is just on a peg, which is unpainted, so it's a lot of paint went into this, but you could plug it in there. Not really, but there you go. Besides that, you have an Autobot symbol right there, and yep, it's Sunstreaker. It's a solid yellow Lamborghini. Not much else to talk about. It's got painted rims. we'll talk about this stuff in the robot mode. So first off, I'm just going to rotate that up. And I said the arms are different because I don't know the best way I can show you this, but for the wheeljack mold, they actually, yes, they are different because the arm tabs in up here like the shoulder. Ah, dang it. And goes like that. So, but with Sunstreaker, the actual the hands are up here, and you actually have to extend this and rotate it to get into the right position, and then fold the arm in. I like that it's not 1-to-1. I like that they actually went the extra distance to come up with something a little bit different that still gets his arm in a good position. Can't say the same thing for the paint, but that's a different story. Oh, geez. I popped out the tire. Oh. And fold. See that? At this point, I can fold up his head. And the different thing about the legs is you actually have to rotate them twice. So once to get the chest in position, which can then fold up onto and tab into his head. Snap. And then you have to rotate them again to get them in the correct position for robot mode. And then you extend them, fold the foot out, and fold up this little back piece, which doesn't go far enough, but I guess is trying to be a heel spur. Do the same thing on the other side. And you don't have to fold up. The bit I like the most from transformation is the windows folding away, but I guess they can just sit there in this mode, in this one. Actually, you can fold there you go. That's a proper position for his feet. Maybe. I'm not sure. But there's Sunstreaker in his robot mode. He looks like a brick of butter with black mold in it. And now the chest plate still stands out, but it feels like it stands out more because at least the arm plates are kind of hidden on the sides of his arms. You kind of don't see them from a frontal view, but like the chest plate is right there, and they're proud that it's that color and doesn't match the robot at all. And also, hilariously, he's got Lambo feet on both sides. He's technically got a foot and a foot. So that must be a pain to walk on. I mean, I get why they had to cut corners to get the Lambo feet to work in both modes without crazy engineering. So I can forgive them for that, but it's like thinking about it, it's like, does he have a set of toes and then another set of toes? These are just things I think about. I don't know why. But yeah. Unfortunately, Sunstreaker does not get a weapon. This is supposed to be his weapon. And I don't like that idea at all. Because A, he can't hold it. At all. In either hand. There's no... Okay, he can barely hold it. The peg is too short. You can arm mount it, so it's, I guess, Megatron-esque, but that doesn't look good. And also, he's kind of missing something without that signature pop of silver behind his head. But, let's take a look at the face. Very nice Sunstreaker face. Very nicely painted. I'm not sure about the expression. It's kind of, I guess the best way you can describe it is dull surprise. Kind of generic Transformer face. But the painting's good, and bending his head down, you can get a little bit of expression out of him. It does kind of, like with his head down, he looks a little bit pissed off, but yeah, it's a good Sunstreaker head. Other than that, no massive complaints about the robot mode. It's pretty clean. You do have a tiny bit of windscreen kibble on the backs of his shins, which is unfortunate, but deal withable. And yeah, looks pretty good. Let's check out how he poses. So he's got a swivel and a forward and backward. Does he have a? Does he? I think he has a ball jointed neck, but the joint it's on for transformation. It just goes. It's so much looser than the ball joint, but you can get a rotation. You can get a bit of side to side action. Actually, quite a bit of side to side. You can you can use the ball joint to look up, but looking down, it almost immediately detransforms. Deformation. Shoulders are on a universal dual hinge system, so they go forward all the way around, out that far. You do get a bicep swivel. You get a knee. A knee? Knees are just the elbows of the legs. And you could say elbows are the knees of the arm, but he does have an elbow bend of just about 90 degrees. No wrist swivel. Do you get a transformation hinge if you want to use it? Waist swivel, very nice. Hips are pretty tight actually, and they go forward and backwards on this universal. I'm glad that Hasbro or like Transformers have finally decided these are basically the universal style of hips. Like every modern Transformer, most of them, I can't say all of them, but most of them are, at least at the deluxe class, are using this hip system now, which you can get a very nice spread with, along with a thigh swivel, mushroom pegged, as you do. His legs are just made of mushrooms, I guess. Knee bend about 90 degrees. If you want, you can use this for something, but it does lock into place, so it doesn't want you to use it. You do get an ankle tilt, big ankle tilt, along with a up and down toe joint, which I don't know how much that can get you. You really can't get up much higher than that, and lower gives you about that, which puts this out of position if that is supposed to be the heel spur. That's about it for the robot mode. Yep, those are definitely heel spurs because he sits flat on the ground. Size comparison. Do do do. If you've ever been to one of my Twitch streams, you'll know I have nothing to talk about. If I have nothing to talk about, I just start singing, sort of, just humming something. I just forget which side these go on. There we go. So here he is next to kind of a little bit floppy exhaust, but it is next to exhaust. So there's a bit of, is actually a tiny bit taller due to some of the remolds done to him. Yep, there he is. Floppity floppity flop. And this is the first transforming Sideswipe for this video was the first time I've transformed Sideswipe in a long time. Still a good toy. Kind of wish they'd actually just not done Siege to be honest. Because thinking about it, there were very few characters in Siege that weren't redone in Earthrise. Like, thinking about it, Cog, the Weaponizers, all them weren't, like, the only ones that weren't redone were, like, Cog, Six Gun, Brunt, so far, Spinister, and, okay, there were some characters, but, like, I swear they could have gotten away with a much smaller roster for Siege and just did all those characters in Earthrise. But hey, they they made us buy the characters more than once, so freaking got us there. Or at least some people bought the characters twice. Now, since Sunstreaker doesn't have an actual thing that I register as a gun, I'm just going to give him a truck gun. But here he is next to his brother. They look a bit better in this mode. Obviously, Sunstreaker's a bit taller. There are the brothers reunited, and it feels so good. Reunited, and they're so damn expensive. Such a wallet bashing. I mean, they're regular retail price, but you know what I mean. So do I recommend recommending smoke? Oh my god. Sunstreaker is a little bit difficult, I would say. Because you gotta accept the fact that you're gonna have to accept the fact that you're not gonna like the color difference. The color difference bugs the crap out of me. And what makes it worse is they're re-releasing. They're doing a 2-pack of this mold in white, like one in white and one in red, and those two look so much better, but they're different characters. If you want the character of Sunstreaker, unfortunately you have to go this way because there isn't an official masterpiece yet. The only other Sunstreakers you can get are the classics one and third-party ones in the probably, what is it, crappy vinyl tech. Oh, I didn't even, in my, I just realized there's also ports on the tops of his shoulders, which aren't exposed in vehicle mode. And there's also ports on the backs of his shins for whatever purpose, I guess, that gives you. Plug a gun back there. If you can come up with a purpose, I guess. Oh, Sunstreaker might actually be the, hold on. I'm going to check something quickly. Looking at the placement of this back, the port on Sunstreaker's back. It might actually be a decent position for fast track. Come on. I hate this peg. It's so annoying. Come on. Ooh, wait. Yeah. Oh, I was getting the gun mode mixed up for a second. Nope, 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 nope. Come on. So this is probably even not very good. Most likely the best chance you're gonna have. Just pretend. Oh, come on. Fighting me here. Yeah, basically that's the best it's gonna look. At that point, you just kind of have to fudge things because there's no room for this, or there's no room for the other. Is there no? Oh. Okay, it can fit in his hand, but there you go. That's the best that's gonna look. So, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Sunstreaker. Not the best version of this mold, but it is a decent mold. Actually, it's a really good mold. It's just those nitpicks really bug me. I can really only recommend this if you absolutely need the character of Sunstreaker. If not, I would recommend waiting for the 2-pack and buy those because their paint schemes look way better. So, until next time, keep it weird. Bye. Mmm, buttery.